people, what's going on? Happy Friday, guys. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. I'm so sorry for the lack of streams over the last day or two. I think it's been 2 days. I think it's been 2 days since my last stream, guys. Sometimes it's just hard to stream. Like mentally, like sometimes it's just hard to stream, especially when there's nothing to talk about. But I'm kind of glad that I did that because those 2 days and today has given us so much to talk about. So much to talk about. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Spurs coming through with the hijack for Brian and Mbeumo. And you know what, guys? The source is legit because I will give you some little insight to the source because some people are skeptical of the source and the person that's reporting the information. This person has good ties with Brentford and Spurs, so I believe that there's a lot of truth to it. We're going to talk about that. Reportedly, Victor Osimhen talks have resumed for Manchester United. We're going to talk about this whole Gyökeres. I was going to say scandal. It's not really a scandal. It's more like a saga. We're going to talk about the Gyökeres saga because there is so much that has happened between Victor Gyökeres and the president of Sporting and his agent, and social media is involved and statements and all of this stuff. We're going to speak about that. We're also going to speak about Hugo Ekitike, Frankfurt striker that Manchester United are linked to. So it's a lot of striker talk today, guys. It's a lot of striker talk. So make sure you guys hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. What do we have over the weekend? I mean, well, because I cancelled 2 streams, you lot are onto me in the chat. Stu is saying that I should do 2 30-minute morning streams to make up for it all. You know what? I'll do a morning stream tomorrow and Sunday. But I don't know what's a reasonable time with the UK time difference. And I need to cater more to people that are in the Middle East and far Asia because of the time difference. Sometimes when I stream, it's quite late over there. So maybe I'll do like at 8 a.m. Like before my run. I normally go for a run at like 8. So before that, maybe, or after that, I can do a stream. We can do that. But make sure you guys hit the like button. You guys know the rules, man. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button. Let me actually start with this because this was broken yesterday. This was breaking news yesterday regarding Hugo Ekitike, that Manchester United have entered the race to sign him. United have made contact with him with Frankfurt, in the last 48 hours, and he's got a price tag of £85 million starting. Like that's the base transfer price tag. The president or the director, the sporting director of Frankfurt, has even come out and said that they're in no rush to sell Hugo Ekitike. There's no requirement for them to sell him financially. They, obviously they've made money this season from selling Omar Marmoush in the January transfer window. So the director has essentially said, yo, if it's not 100 million euros, don't call my line, don't call my phone. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, the way that I see it, and people are gonna think that I'm just all aboard the idea of Victor Osimhen, but if you got 100 million to spend, why are you not spending it on Osimhen? And why are you going to spend it on a player that has had one breakout of the season? Maybe, I feel like the trajectory of his career, because he's young, it can only go up, hopefully. If Man United were to sign him, then it's only up. And given the season that he had, which is a lot better than maybe what Højlund had in his season at Atalanta. But I just think paying 100 million on one good season in the Bundesliga, for me, I'm skeptical about that. I'm skeptical about that personally. Now, I've seen calculations flying around online about the fact that signing Hugo Ekitike would actually, over the course of the package, will be cheaper than signing Gyökeres or signing Victor Osimhen, for example, taking into consideration, the transfer fee, and, he'd probably have a lot less wages. Let me be clear on my opinion on this. Just because the player is the cheaper option or the cheaper package overall, it shouldn't be the reason why United look to sign him. That should not be the reason why United look to sign him. For me, I've said this time and time again, Man United need a proven goal scorer. And a proven goal scorer is not someone that has just had one breakout season in the Bundesliga. Let's look at his numbers, by the way, because I'm not gonna lie, I like him, but I don't think he's the best of the best. I actually preferred Marmoush over him. He's got 15 goals in the Bundesliga this season and 8 assists. So that's like what, 23 goal involvements in 33 games. This is coming off the back, guys, of 4 goals in the season before that. I'm sorry, but going from 4 goals to 15 goals, that is very impressive. That is definitely very impressive, because that's 11 more goals than you scored in the previous season. However, with saying that, I think United should look for some form of consistency. They need to look at, maybe it doesn't help that he's quite young. So, he's only got 2 years of football at Frankfurt, but they should look to see the kind of statistical increase over 3 or 4 seasons. Because if you're improving your goals by 10 or so every season, that's a great metric. That is great. That means that you are on the up. But if you're telling me the only kind of metric that we have is 2 seasons at Frankfurt where you scored 4 goals in one and then 15 in the other. By the way, in all competitions, he scored 22 goals, if my maths is not wrong. He scored 22 goals, 4 in Europa League, 3 in the German Cup, and then obviously 15 in the Bundesliga. So in total, he had 22 goals in all competitions. And I mean, if we want to go off of return, you're looking at Europa League and, 4 goals in 12 games. I mean, that's probably more than any of United strikers. Good player. I wouldn't be mad. For me, it's not that I wouldn't be mad, but I just think the price tag is enough to put me off. I feel like in Germany, people are always looking for that next big, clubs are always looking to have that next big player that they can sell for huge amounts of money. I'm talking about Dortmund. We've seen, with Bayer Leverkusen now, and Frankfurt they probably got a taste of that Omar Marmoush money, and they're probably thinking, okay, I want a taste of that Ekitike money as well. And for 100 million, you spend 100 million on the striker, you have to be buying one of the best strikers in Europe. Do I think Ekitike is one of the best strikers in Europe? No, I don't think he's one of the best strikers in Europe. Do I think that he has good potential to be a good striker? Yes, but you don't also pay 100 million for potential. We did that with Rasmus Højlund. Look how that turned out. We did that with Anthony. Look how that turned out. Man United, if they're going to spend big, which I don't think they will, but if they are going to spend big and they're going to spend, iconically, you gotta do, like, I saw a graphic today that basically had all of the 100 million signings in the Premier League, in the Big Six, and only Manchester United and Spurs have not spent 100 million pounds plus on a signing. City have done it, Arsenal have done it, Chelsea have done it multiple times, and now Liverpool have done it with Florian Wirtz. If Man United were to buy Hugo Ekitike, whose starting fee is at 100 million, and they're probably going to look for add-ons on top of that, you go and spend that money on a proven player that is, I'm not saying Ekitike is not proven, but I'm saying that over the course of his time at Frankfurt, which is what Frankfurt are kind of valuing him at, he doesn't have 100 million euros of, I think, potential to spend on. That's just my opinion. Stop comparing every young player to that Danish scrub. Why you gotta be so harsh, man? Let's talk about the big conversation. Let's talk about the big conversation, guys. Because today it's been a little bit of a roller coaster when it comes to Bryan Mbeumo. And the reason why I'm saying it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, because we went from Sky Sports saying that Spurs are interested in signing Bryan Mbeumo to the Mirror reporting that Tottenham have launched a 70 million bid for Brentford star Bryan Mbeumo. And I know a lot of people are skeptical about the source, but let me say one thing. The piece is written by Darren Lewis, very, very well-respected journalist in the industry, very well respected. And let me tell you guys this for free, yeah? You can believe what he's saying, you can believe what he's not, you can choose not to believe it, but I believe it because I know firsthand how well connected he is with Brentford and with Spurs. So for him to have the drop of this information, it kind of makes sense. But like I said, Darren Lewis has reported, let me bring up the full quotes here. Tottenham will fight Manchester United for Bryan Mbeumo and have made a 70 million bid for him to try and hijack the move from Old Trafford. Spurs also believe that their valuation or their transfer bid is closer to Brentford's valuation for the player. Mbeumo is leaning towards United, but it's believed that Thomas Frank thinks he can persuade him to stay in London. Now, there's so many pieces of this story I think that we need to talk about. Abdi, we're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna star this so that I can come back to this after we talk about this striker situation. But yeah, quickly on the Bryan and Mbeumo thing. I think there's a lot to take in. Firstly, Spurs are willing, and if this is true, I think there is some truth to it for sure, but Spurs are willing to break their own transfer fee record to hijack a transfer from Manchester United, having beaten us in the Europa League final a month ago. That's number one. Now, aside from the fact that he's probably given his word to Manchester United, people switch all the time, guys. People switch all the time. Like, I remember Arnold Danjuma giving his word to Everton and nearly signing a contract with them, and then ran away and went to Spurs. So people give their word all the time and then break it. If Bryan and Mbeumo is a man of his word, he won't. Why does this picture look so much like Flex? God damn, I picked the worst picture possible because I feel like I just got Flex on my screen. Anyways, but I am a little bit worried. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am a little bit worried. It's been 2 weeks, nearly 2 weeks, since the Bryan and Mbeumo bomber, if you want to call it that, from David Ornstein, suggesting that he is he's given his word to Manchester United and he's chosen Manchester United. But I think everything's been moving quite slow. It's been moving quite slow. First bid, 45 plus 5 to get rejected. I think I think you know as a club where Brentford stand in terms of valuation, and it's a matter of negotiation. Like, you know what, guys? You know what I was thinking, yeah? Why don't Manchester United ever hire someone who has experience in like hostage negotiation? Like, why is it when it seems like a lot of negotiators that work at football clubs, yeah, especially Manchester United, they got a history in like sales and communication. When I feel like if Ineos is serious about building in transfer windows, yeah, they're gonna hire someone as the head of negotiations that's got history being a hostage negotiator, like working for the UN or something like that. Like, I'm talking about negotiating with like big dogs, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say the word, but you know, people that have negotiated and freed, you know, people that have been kidnapped. That's like, if I was the owner of a football club, guys, I promise you, my head of negotiations is gonna be someone that has history negotiating with the big dogs. And I'm not talking about the big dogs that sit in boardrooms. I'm talking about the big dogs with the AK-47s. That's what I'm talking about. United, if we had a big negotiator, they might have got this deal done. They might have got this deal done. Let me see what you guys are saying. My uncle actually does that for a living. That's one of my dream jobs, one of my many dream jobs. Our players have been that bad and on such high wages. We need top tier canvassers to sell these lot. Yo, you guys don't know that clip. The thought of that clip is just giving me PTSD, guys. Like, I want Bryan and Mbeumo to join because I think like he will be a great signing for Manchester United. But also, I want him to join so that I'd never have to see that video resurface again. I swear that day I should have just turned my camera off. Damn. That they're gonna run that clip back. You know, like if you're on social media, if you're on Twitter and you see that time we signed Ugarte or something, and there's a screenshot that always goes viral talking about that moment, that clip is gonna be the new version. That clip is going to be the new version. That Mirror Football report is Brentford PR waffle. I don't believe it unless Fabrizio Ornstein or someone says it. One thing that I realized in the transfer window, guys, is that there's more to football reporting than Fabrizio and David Ornstein. They ain't like the oracle. Because I've seen I remember with the Lenny Yoro deal being broken by I think it was an Algerian French a journalist in France, and people were saying, I don't believe this. Real Madrid fans were playing it down, saying, who's this guy? He's a no one. But sometimes people, people who are close to certain clubs or certain areas or certain people, they will have the drop just because they don't have a big catchphrase like Ornstein or Fabrizio doesn't mean that they're any less of a journalist. That's one thing I will say. But I do agree that you should be skeptical of some stuff because obviously there's so many journalists out there that just want to get clicks during the summer transfer window. Like sometimes I go on Google, I type in Man United news, and then I click on the news, and I just see the amount of articles that people write in the transfer window, and the people that we're linked to. I swear we were linked to Ronaldo. I remember one time, I can't remember, I think it was Daily Mail saying that United could look at signing Ronaldo, and I was like, yeah, you lot have lost the plot. You guys have dead ass lost the plot. But I don't know. Let me know, how do you guys feel about this Mbeumo news, or and just the way that this has all played out over the last 48 hours or so? Because I feel like this should have been something that should have been wrapped up. I feel like it should have been wrapped up, and I don't know if that's me speaking from a place of am I being too, what's the word, am I being too harsh on Manchester United? Because it's been nearly 10 days, like I said, since that Mbeumo agreeing to join Manchester United, or wanting to join Manchester United, and Man United know what Brentford want. But also, I think Man United don't want to be held, talk about hostages, but they don't want to be held hostage financially again, because United find themselves in a situation where they have to undo years and years and years of poor financial decision making from, you know, the transfer windows. So I kind of understand that, but Man United cannot let Spurs leapfrog over them to sign Mbeumo. Mbeumo has already said that he wants to join Manchester United. He's already said, like, okay, well, we're being told he's said that, but he's already told Spurs and Newcastle and whatnot that he does not want to join them, and he's given his word to Manchester United. He better be a man of his word, because anyhow this turns out to be true and Spurs managed to hijack it, oh my god, that clip is going to resurface all over again. But let me know how you guys feel about it. We're going to come back to this conversation because there's another conversation flying around that I wanted to speak about as well. And it's the 1% faith. Because I think this guy is the man for Manchester United. Like, I say this time and time and time again. Manchester United have reportedly resumed discussions with Victor Osimhen. It's reported that he is demanding a 12 million euro salary, which is, if I'm not wrong, I think it's about £9 million. And I don't know if that's pre or post tax. But you guys know my stance on this. You got Victor Osimhen is the best striker available on the market this summer. He's the best striker. When we talk about all the number 9s that are available, and how many teams need a number 9 this summer? Quite a few. You got Gyökeres, you got Vlahovic, you got Jonathan David, you got Benjamin Sesko, you've got Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is the best out of all of them. Even if I personally think at his best in terms of as a number 9, there's not many strikers that excel above him, right? And I fully believe that you want the best. You pay the premium price for the best. Now, what is I think ruining the moment maybe for Victor Osimhen is that because of Man United's historic decisions when it comes to wages, salaries, transfer fees, etc., they have to be a lot more cautious this summer, which is why I think the approach to Victor Osimhen is a lot more cautious maybe than how it was when we were signing, you know, Rasmus Højlund, or when we were signing Joshua Zirkzee, etc. They have to be a lot more cautious. But for me, Victor Osimhen, if United pull off Mbeumo, and they've already got Cunha, who's been announced, for me, Victor Osimhen is the best piece of the puzzle to finish that front three off. I think he's a better option than Gyökeres. I think he's a better option for Ekitike. I do think Gyökeres, in terms of his overall pattern of play and the way he plays, is quite different to Osimhen. I wonder if it makes more sense that why United are going for Gyökeres, because Osimhen plays better, I think, with wide players rather than 2 players behind him. However, with saying that, I don't know if you guys have seen the way Galatasaray are moving this summer. They've just signed Leroy Sané. They're obviously trying to sign this guy here as well. And they are probably the only team that can offer financially maybe what Victor Osimhen is wanting. And I don't know, people are talking about the financial aspect of Victor Osimhen's decision making and the fact that he wants outrageous wages. But guys, I feel like had he wanted a big bag, he would have joined Al Hilal. He rejected Al Hilal reportedly. Now, this is being reported, I remember, by Nigerian journalists who probably know a lot more than maybe British journalists do. And they were reporting that it's more than the financial thing for Victor Osimhen. He wants to stay in Europe. So this idea that he's a money-hungry striker or a money-hungry guy that just wants generational wealth, he has, I think, debunked that because he's rejected Al Hilal. And Al Hilal probably never anticipated multiple times that. I think that he rejected, how many times has he rejected Al Hilal? Last summer, he rejected them like 2 times when it came to negotiations. And then now like 2-3 times. It's also been reported that his camp is a little bit difficult to deal with, and that they give their word and then they take it back, and then they give their word and then they take it back. That's just the reports of, that's just paper talk. But I just feel like out of all the strikers United are linked to, I feel like Osimhen could be the better option rather than Gyökeres. Now, I don't know how you lot feel about this Gyökeres situation. How do you guys actually feel? Because we actually haven't had the chance to speak about it over the last couple of days. And the way that this saga has just played out in the public eye, for me, it's a little bit cringe. I can't lie, guys. It's a little bit cringe. I found it cringe when the same thing happened with Anthony and HIJACK. And I find it a little bit cringe now between Gyökeres, Sporting, and his agent. Now, from my understanding and from everything I've read, it seems like the previous sporting director or president had a gentleman's agreement with the agent, and then now the new president has said, well, this ain't gonna happen. And I'm not gonna bother reading out the whole statement because I know that you guys probably have seen the statement from the president himself. But what made me laugh about the statement, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a particular part in the president's statement where he says, he mentions how last summer nobody wanted Gyökeres, how they agreed to sell him last summer, but nobody came to sign him. And that's why they didn't want to put a transfer clause, a transfer fee in, a release clause, sorry, because no one wanted him last summer and he was approaching 27 this summer. So no one would pay a release clause, but they would have a price tag for him. And that price tag is at 100 million. The president has made it very clear that they're not accepting 70 million, which was what's been reported, 60 plus 10. It's been reported that Arsenal have bidded for that, and it's been rejected by Sporting. And then you see Victor Osimhen posting cryptic messages on Instagram. It's not really cryptic. He's just saying the truth will be basically come out soon. He's saying the truth will come out soon, and then everybody will basically understand. And I don't think it's anything to do with Gyökeres personally. I don't think it's really the player. I will always look at the agent because it's the agent that makes all of this play out publicly and privately. The agent is relaying the information or the requests from, like, the whole point of being an agent is you are a representative. So I don't believe a lot of the time that things like this that occur in the public eye is fully down to the player's character and the player's personality, etc. But I also think there is maybe some. I think United should just let this dramatics play out between the player and the president, and then be there to clean it up at the end when they can benefit from it. So once the situation is either resolved or it's become so toxic that Sporting will have to sell for a certain amount because they just want to get him out, then you pounce. It's kind of similar with what has happened with Napoli and Victor Osimhen. Last summer, we know last summer Victor Osimhen just went on loan solely because the relationship kind of went to shits between him and Napoli. And it's again a similar situation as this. But in terms of the 3 strikers that United are linked to, so we've seen Victor Osimhen, who we know what has played out in 2 summer transfer windows in a row, with him. Then we got Victor Gyökeres, where this is playing out now. And it's been reported, by the way, just quickly on Gyökeres, Manchester United will not break the bank for him, despite the striker threatening to go on strike to force a move this summer. The United links are true, given how prolific Gyökeres was for Ruben Amorim. However, not all senior figures at the club are totally convinced the 27-year-old has the right profile. So there we have it. Manchester United are skeptical about the price tag, and that price tag is a big price tag, guys. 100 million for Gyökeres. How How, guys, is Gyökeres and Ekitike the same price? Or how are their clubs putting the same price tag on them? Football has become so, what's the word, bloated. Transfer fees have, that's the worst word that I just used, but transfer fees, guys, have become so bloated that we're living in a world where you're telling me there's multiple 100 million pound players. No way. And you know what makes it even more crazy? It makes me realize how crazy it was how much Cristiano Ronaldo went to Real Madrid for at the time. That is mad. That is so mad. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. I look at all these kind of all this information that we're being given, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not focused on the Gyökeres stuff, and I'm not focused on Ekitike and I'm not focused on the Osimhen stuff, because for me, I need this to be finished. I need this to be finished. The Ekitike links is just a way to force Sporting's hand, in my opinion. It could be possible, 100%. That could be a possibility. Manchester United point out stories there, but also it goes two ways, because on one side United are moving for Gyökeres, right? And then maybe they're planting these stories. It's just a suggestion, but maybe they're planting these stories to say, you know, Gyökeres ain't the only striker that we can get. We can go pay 100 million on Ekitike. But in the same idea, or in the same breath, you need to remember that we're still negotiating with Brentford. So if you're being linked to a 100 million euro player, Brentford are going to turn around and be like, yo, you guys got the money. You guys definitely have the money. That's why I wish United weren't linked. Like, I like the fact that it seems like United are moving for multiple players for different positions, but also I feel like it could slightly just backfire on Manchester United, because now, you know, you're linked to a player, Ekitike, who's got a 100 million euro price tag. You're linked to another player in Gyökeres, who reportedly his club aren't looking to sell him for anything less than 100. Then you're also linked to Osimhen, who we know what his price tag is. It's around 75 million. But the big news in the scene right now is that, you know, he's got high wage demands. So now Brentford are probably looking at that and thinking, okay, well, that's all your three situations for your striker targets, and you're reportedly in talks with those clubs. Then you can pay what we're asking, because you've got the money to spend, right? You've got the money to spend. Now, for me, I don't think Man United should look to get the striker move completed until the Bryan and Mbeumo deal is finished. And the reason why I say that is because I think it's more important. I think signing Mbeumo or not signing him will decide for us who Manchester United should get up front. If Manchester United sign Mbeumo, then they will sign Victor Gyökeres. And if Manchester United don't sign Mbeumo, then they will end up signing Victor Osimhen. That is just my theory. That's just the theory that I have, and that theory is based on many stuff, including stupidity, but it's also based on the two different profiles of the strikers and how they excel. And as the news kind of ramped up about Bryan and Mbeumo, I don't know if you guys realized, but that's when the news about Gyökeres started to ramp up, which is why I fully believe that the Gyökeres move and the Mbeumo move are both kind of linked to each other. And if United, and maybe United talking to Osimhen or reopening talks to see what's going on with him, is maybe just a safety net to see, okay, if we don't get Mbeumo and we don't get Gyökeres, we do need a great number 9. Do you get it? And on that note, oh, big up to Riri. She just did a madness. Riri just did 20 gifted memberships here on the channel. Riri, send me a picture of you, man. I need to give you an emoji. I actually need to give Riri an emoji in the chat, because Bear of you lot managed to scam you. Look, pyramid scheme, just scamming his way to a membership again. Let's see who got memberships. This thing is moving too quick. Big up to OJ, G, Danny, Noheem. Big up to Gaz. Gaz got one. Manish got one. Pyramid scheme got one. Sully got one. Big up to Sully. Another Sully got one. So 2 Sullys got one. Panda Express got one. Jay got one, CD got one, Elvis got one, Brian got one. 2 Liverpool fans, guys. Brian and Elvis both managed to get a membership. Big up to them. Kay got one, Thrill got one, Mello got one, Mo got one, C1 Chaos got one, and Mark got one. Big up to all of you lot. Big up to all of you lot, and make sure you guys thank Riri, man. Riri is the queen of giving gifts here on the channel. Big up to Riri for the support and for the love here on the channel. Let me see what else you guys are saying in the chat as well. All of this is showing maybe United still suck in the network game and negotiating. Do you guys feel like United are moving slow? Like, do you guys actually feel like Manchester United are moving very, very slow? Because a part of me feels like they're moving slow. But then a part of me also feels like they're actually not moving slow. And maybe it's because there's clubs that are in the Club World Cup, for example, in the Premier League, who are moving quite rapidly throughout the window, right? Liverpool are just, set to agree their second signing of the summer. So I don't know if Man United are moving slow, or are we just comparing ourselves to rival fans that are making signings? Because Arsenal, I think, have only agreed terms for one player, which is for Kepa. And then outside of that, they haven't signed anyone yet. Chelsea have signed Delap. Every other club, Brighton have signed a player. Everyone's signed one player here, 2 at best. Man City are probably the only team that have signed multiple players, and that's because of the Club World Cup. But I don't know if that's because, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's what's making everyone feel like United are moving slow. Or are Man United actually moving slow? Like I said, the only reason why I think United are moving slow, because the fact that it's been 2 weeks since this whole Brian and Mbeumo news, and 1 bid rejected, and that's it. I don't know if you guys remember last summer. It took weeks for this Joshua Zirkzee deal to go through. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was held back because of the Euros. Then he was on holiday, and it was taking so long. And eventually, I think it was like 3 weeks after that, it finally got the here we go. So maybe Ineos need to take my advice and hire someone who was formerly like head of negotiations for the UN when it came to negotiating with people that have AK-47s and wear balaclavas and that. Maybe that's who Man United should hire as their head of negotiations, because they might get the negotiations done quicker, and you know what? They might get you a good deal too. If a man got experience negotiating with people that have nothing to lose, they will get you a damn good deal. If not, they'll walk away from it. Big up to Show says, we have Sancho coming back. We have Sancho coming back. We don't need Mbeumo. I doubt that. We fumbled this Mbeumo deal, and I've got smoke for Wilcox and Vivell. I can't lie. Who has been responsible? I think Vivell has been responsible for these young target names. Because when United are signing young players from academies, I'm seeing Vivell and Wilcox's name there. But when it's the senior players, I'm seeing only Wilcox's name attached to it. Now, Omar Barada, I think he did an interview with Andy Mitten, and he was saying that he wants to sign people that want to come to Manchester United to play for Manchester United, not because they want to be in the Champions League or they want to, be, competing or whatever. Well, the first most important thing is signing people who want to play for Manchester United. But I think that's bad. I feel like having that logic where it's solely, the main priority is that person wants to play for Man United. You know how many people in the world want to play for Man United? I want to play for Man United. It doesn't mean you guys should sign me. That doesn't mean you should sign me. Am I good enough to get you guys Champions League? I doubt it. Maybe, actually. Maybe. I don't know. But you should be signing people that want to get to the top with Manchester United, rather than just because they want to sign for Manchester United and they want to wear the badge and they know what it means to play for the badge. There's no point signing people that are, I don't want to say it, but mid-table losers. Because you can find a lot of players that probably want to play for Man United but are mid-table losers. You need to sign the best of the best, which is why I'm all for United trying to sign Victor Osimhen. I'm genuinely speaking. Brother hiding behind the top red PR because I can never say that guy's name. Tasiki is a person from Baddies, so I don't think that's how you say it. But anyways, can't hold his hand anymore, and he built a relegation level squad. Let Let me see what else you guys are saying. Not gonna lie, Pogba, the final chapter might not even need to be done. Tiki, okay, it's Tiki. Guys, I'm not gonna lie. You lot know me. I love Paul Pogba, man. One of my favorite players at United in the last decade. I actually might jump out of the window if United sign him. And that says a lot. I live on the 3rd floor, guys, or the 4th floor. I don't even know what floor I live on. I live on like in a block. So you lot don't want me to jump out of the window. Man United cannot keep going back to things that didn't work out. Like, it's as simple as that. You can't keep going back to players that did not work out. I don't even know where Paul Pogba is gonna go. Personally, I don't even know if we're gonna see him play football. Oh my god, what? Santiago Una. And literally, I'm just saying now, I don't know where Pogba is gonna play football next season. If he goes to Monaco, I will be there. I'm actually gonna go to Monaco, and you lot are gonna get me there. You guys, I'm gonna start a fundraiser. Nah, this guy's playing with me, man. Paul Pogba has been offered to AC Monaco. Nah, you're playing with me. How weird does this look, guys? Firstly, this just looks weird as hell. But you're telling me I might watch Paul Pogba and Lamine Camara? I will be there. I will be there. He doesn't need to go to AC Milan with Allegri. Allegri's going to ruin him. I don't think Allegri's going to last that long, personally. New team. You know what? I've always liked Monaco. I'm not going to lie. I've watched... Oh my god! You know what? I've watched Monaco in real life, guys. I've actually watched Monaco versus PSG. At when was this? 2 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, and I watched Mbappe stink the place up. I saw Messi be a ghost. But I got to see at the time Yusuf Fofana and Mohamed Kamara boss the pitch. So deep down I'm a Monaco fan. Deep down. Thomas Frank, first casualty of the season. I'm calling it. I think Thomas Frank will be all right at Spurs. I think personally, I feel like they went for him because he did a lot with Brentford with not much financially. And it seems like, I don't know if you guys saw Romero's statement when what's his name left, when the manager got sacked. It was quite damning. There was a line about basically the decision makers, and I think at Spurs, you know, Mourinho spoke about it. We'll probably hear Ange Postecoglou speak about it, but it sounds like the decision makers, the senior up people at Spurs, they just got to go in the bin. I hope they stay there for now because I don't want Spurs to be good. So for my own personal reasons, I would like them to stay there. But just overall, it sounds like Thomas Frank. I don't think he will be the first casualty. I actually think Scott Parker will. I think Scott Parker will be the first casualty if Brentford do something stupid and appoint him as the manager. If Brentford repay Thomas Frank by appointing Scott Parker as the manager, Brentford will get relegated. I'm not even joking, guys. Before we talk about more transfer stuff, I wanna hear you guys' opinion on this quickly. I really let me try to find a better picture. Okay, there you go. This should be a good picture. I wanna hear you guys' picture on this, guys. Sorry, I want to hear your opinion on this. Now, I'm sure you guys saw it. Mina, where can I cop a Monaco Pogba shirt? I live in Africa. If he signs with Monaco, I'll send you one. Like, I can send you one, right? In South Africa. You should be able to find it in the shops though. I'm sure you'll find it there. In the little markets. Surely. But let's talk about this, guys. Please, let's talk about this because this has to be the funniest thing. And you know what? I get why Liverpool fans were mad. Like, it's so funny. It's actually hilarious. When I clicked play on that video of his speech at his grand reveal, I don't think anything prepared me for what I was about to hear. The caption said something about, Trent surprises Florentino Perez by speaking French. I thought he was just going to throw in like 1-2 Spanish words. Be like, ciao, mucho gracias, you know, tacos, You know, that kind of stuff. I thought he was going to throw in 1-2 words of Spanish. I did not expect him to speak in fluent Spanish. Yeah. Me, I'm no Spanish connoisseur. I don't know if it's good Spanish, but to me, it sounded like it was relatively decent Spanish, like at least conversational. Maybe the dialect was different, etc., etc. But for me, it seemed like it was quite to the T. Yeah. I've been learning Arabic for 5 years, guys. I still can't even put one sentence together. I need to have whatever. I'm actually going to DM his agent and be like, yo, who was his Spanish teacher? Because I need an Arabic teacher. Because the way he was speaking Spanish, to do it as well in that moment where it's, you know, your grand reveal, is the first time you're being revealed to the public as a Real Madrid player, that takes some cojones. But I find it funny, and it's funny to laugh at Liverpool fans, but also I get why they're mad now. Like, that would have pissed me off even more if I was a Liverpool fan. I think that would have been my 13th reason. That would have been my 13th reason if I was a Liverpool fan. And I think now the sentiment with their fan base has maybe changed. And if there's any Liverpool fans in the chat, please let me know. But I think the sentiment has changed in terms of the fact that they are no longer buying into what Klopp was selling them about, you know, respecting him. I think that first game that he plays against Liverpool, if they ever play each other in the champs, if he plays at Anfield, it's peak for him. It's peak for him. But what made me laugh even more than the Spanish was the fact that he said he looked up to people like Beckham and Ronaldo leaving the Prem. He said he looked up to people like Ronaldo and Beckham who played for Real Madrid. Are you talking about the same Beckham and Ronaldo that played for Manchester United? As if there's no Liverpool player that played for Real Madrid. I don't know why that made me laugh. But what made me laugh even more than that, so the Spanish made me laugh. That made me laugh. But what made me laugh even more than that is that he said, I grew up watching Real Madrid win Champions Leagues. My friend, you were playing in one of them. You were playing in, he mentions the last 3 Champions Leagues that they won. And I'm like, bro, you literally was playing in one of those finals. How can you say you looked up to Real Madrid and you've always wanted to play for Real Madrid, having watched them win multiple Champions Leagues? I swear, I don't think anything prepared me for. Yeah, I like, now I'm like, bro, I hope you do well at Real Madrid. Just because I know how much the Liverpool fans are fuming, like they're pissed. And like I said, rightfully so. They got every right to be. But it's just so funny. His unveiling made me laugh. Personally, it made me laugh. And also the fact people are mad about the fact that he changed his name and he's rebranded and he's got number 12 now. And he's changed from Alexander-Arnold on his back to just Trent. And Liverpool fans are mad about that. And I'm like, whoa, they're basically, I think they're trying to suggest that he's trying to like change the identity that he had at Liverpool to have like a brand new identity at Real Madrid. And I also saw him mention about Bellingham, because they basically, he said that people think it was just Bellingham that, you know, convinced him. But he said, I've always wanted to play for Real Madrid. And if he was ever going to leave Liverpool, it was only for Real Madrid. Real Madrid, guys, is the biggest team in Europe. Let's be honest. I will be so honest. And I'm saying that as a Manchester United fan. Real Madrid there's a reason why players have left Manchester United to go to Real Madrid. Players have left Chelsea to go to Real Madrid. Players have left Arsenal to go to Real Madrid. Players have left Liverpool to go to Real Madrid. They are the biggest team. When Real Madrid are able to pull off signings, for example, like Mastantuono that they just signed from South America, and he's been announced today, they're able to pull it off and beat the Champions League winners to that signing. It's because when, I don't know, growing up as a kid, there were certain teams for me that were the big teams in Europe. And Real Madrid have consistently remained at that level. I don't know if you guys realize, Man United have fell off. AC Milan, a big team when I was younger, they fell off. But Real Madrid has maintained that level of being a top club no matter what, even in their worst times, even in their, and obviously in their greatest times. So I don't know why people are shocked that someone wants to leave a Premier League team and go to Real Madrid. I think maybe they're mad at the fact that, you know, he left on a free and they just got a light little 10 million. But it's kind of mad. Inter kind of fell off 2 minutes despite the league titles. The clout kind of gone. What makes me laugh is that Inter are in the Club World Cup. I know there's no possibility of them meeting what's it called, Al Hilal, but I would love for them to meet at some point. Talking about the Club World Cup, guys. I was just looking at it today out of curiosity, just because I was just curious. Of course, I'm probably gonna watch it. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I won't watch all the games because you see the timings that they're on in the UK. It's kind of mad. But there's actually some pretty decent matchups, guys. If there's any teams I would tell you guys to look out for in terms of African teams or Asian teams, I will tell you guys to watch out for Al Ahly. Don't get confused, but there's 2 Al Ahlis in world football. One of them is in Saudi, and this one's in Egypt. This is the Egyptian Real Madrid, basically. They're like the big dogs. They're the big dogs of Egyptian football, of African football. So I'll definitely tell you lot to watch out for them. Who else? I would also say Al Hilal are a decent team. Al Hilal are a decent team. Their first game is actually against Real Madrid on Wednesday, which is actually at a decent time. You're not saying Sundowns. I told you, like, I'm supporting any African team. Like, my only requirement for you is if you are African in the Club World Cup, I will support you. Call me biased. Call me biased. But let's actually talk about Manchester United now. The fun's over, guys. We gotta go back to talking about Manchester United for now. And tomorrow I will do a stream. If there is news between now and tomorrow morning, you lot know I'll go live. I promise. But I wanted to actually speak quickly about Alejandro Garnacho, because there are reports about Manchester United's price tag for him. Now, I don't know if you guys feel like maybe United are expecting too much. Now, it's been reported that Manchester United are expecting a price tag starting at £50 million. I don't know how you lot feel about that. Because I don't know what's the likelihood that United would get £50 million for him. Or 50 million plus. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I don't think he's worth it. I think he's a good player. But I just don't have faith in United selling their players successfully. I actually think there's a stronger possibility of him staying than to him go. Genuinely speaking, I think there might be a bigger possibility that he stays rather than he leaves. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like Man United are going to be very stubborn with their price tag. But I don't think Man United, Ineos, Amorim feel like about Garnacho the way that they do about Marcus Rashford. I feel like Marcus Rashford is by any means necessary, get him out. I feel like that's how they view it. Whereas with Garnacho, I think they view it as, you know what, if the price is right, we'll let him leave. But if it's not, then we're happy to leave him to stay. Whereas with Marcus Rashford, I feel like they probably feel like he's going by any means necessary, whether it's on loan, whatever, we're going to get him out. And it's been reported that Marcus Rashford has told his agents that it's either Barcelona or nothing. And you know what, guys? I saw something on Twitter the other day, and the internet's weird. Marcus Rashford, I don't know if it was him or his brother or someone posted a workout, which is completely normal. I know a lot of people, footballers, and they post their workouts on their stories during the off season. Normal. It's not really attention seeking or anything. But I think it was United District posted it, and then, you know, the comments were vile. The comments were so vile. And the nature of, I will say, hatred for Marcus Rashford from the fan base now has become ridiculous. Like, if he breathes, people are gonna lose it. People are gonna lose it. And I feel like there is a slight part from the way that this situation has played out from Ineos that has contributed to this. Marcus Rashford has always been hated online on social media. He's always been a disliked character by fans, but now it's become slightly too much, guys. I think we'll find it hard to move most of these players, in my opinion. If we actually think about the number of players that Manchester United need to sell versus anything that we've seen reported. Tell me now, guys, have you guys seen anybody linked to leaving Man United? Anybody? Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Antony. That's probably the only 4 names that I've seen of reports of a club being interested, but nothing else. And I have a feeling I have a feeling we'll get to the latter stages of the transfer window, and suddenly it'll be like a car boot sell. It'll be a car boot sell where it's like, we need to sell these people by any means necessary. Let's just accept anything for them, and that's not necessarily the right way to do it, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't really think it's the right way to do it. But there was a comment earlier on that I started here saying, let's talk about how none of our players are even close to being sold. And I think you look at Chelsea. Chelsea had the Club World Cup, right? But they've made it clear who is in their plans for next season in terms of who's gone to the Club World Cup. There's a number of players that have been left behind and been told, go find yourself a new club. Raheem Sterling's one of them. That guy, João Felix. Well, like, guys, I'm not being funny, yeah? How did Chelsea get away with signing João Felix and doing a favour for Atletico? Because Atletico brought Gallagher. Like, how did that actually just slip under the radar? This guy has been, like, there have been some poor Chelsea signings, but man, I ain't heard that word in years. That João Felix signing has to be like the weirdest one ever. Like, and nobody really talks about how much of a failure it is, which is crazy. But the way Chelsea deal with things, I don't know if you lot remember, last season they refused to let Tammy Abraham travel with them for pre-season to America. Now look at him, he's on the plane going to the Club World Cup. You see how quickly life changes in 12 months, guys. That shows you should always work hard and persevere. You know, use Trevor Chalobah. You lot are going to accuse me of racism because I just mixed up 2 black people. Trevor Chalobah was not allowed on the plane last summer to the Club World Cup, to the preseason. And now this year, he's on his way to Club World Cup. The way Chelsea deal with the players that they want to get rid of is serious. Like, they don't F about. When they don't want you, they don't want you. That's it. Go find yourself a new destination. Chelsea is, I'm not going to say that, but yeah, the ex you date as a teenager and you don't know better. But also, they'll kick you to the curb when they realize that you have no benefit to them. They'll be like to you, go find yourself a new club. And that's what they told Raheem Sterling, go do that on transfer deadline day, and he ended up at Arsenal. He ended up at Arsenal where Chelsea paid all his wages. Chelsea make some poor financial decisions, but the way that the recklessness of how Maresca has dealt with certain situations of players, it's been like United could take a leaf out of that book. Not saying that United need to be exactly like the way Maresca has dealt with stuff at Chelsea, but just take some little inspiration, because when it was reported of Amorim coming out and telling Garnacho find a new club, I saw people defending him. People were defending Garnacho, saying the manager's toxic. He's lost how many Premier League games? He doesn't deserve to talk to Garnacho like that. When Maresca did the same thing to his players, Chelsea fans were backing it, saying, yeah, this is the ruthlessness we need. It doesn't also help that Chelsea have like 5 million players, but also their fans were happy. They were like, if Maresca is making the right decision, if he thinks it's the right decision, then we support it. Because we need to cut the number of players that we have. But with United, we'll find excuses for players. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Amorim don't really have much of a leg to stand on because of the way that the last 6 months has played out whilst he's been the manager. But if you want a bit of ruthlessness, you gotta appreciate the ruthlessness when it comes. You can't want a manager to be ruthless, but then when it's the player that you like, it's suddenly the manager shouldn't be doing this. And a prime example is me and Marcus Rashford. I like Marcus Rashford. I didn't really agree with the way the situation has played out. But if Amorim believes that it's the right decision and you don't want him, all right, cool. I'm not having any Ineos PR though from that. I'm not having any Ineos PR. But if Amorim genuinely stands on business and he genuinely believes, you know what, it's the right decision, we're going to get rid of Marcus Rashford, bring in another forward. Okay, cool. Go for it. Do you play Football Manager Minute or any other football games? I play FC 25. You can see it here. Right there. I play FC 25. I've been waiting for the new Football Manager to come out, but I know that it's been postponed until the end of the year. So I just can't be bothered to keep playing it. until the new one comes out. Other football games? No, but I play other sports games. So I play F1. I'm enjoying F1. It just came out a couple of weeks ago. I'm enjoying it. Madden. I play Madden. I play NBA. Recently started playing UFC, which is so hard to get into. I can't lie. It's really hard. So really the real sports games I play is FC25, Madden, NBA, and then F1, which has just come out recently. No Saudi links for us, Mina. I heard that Onana is not wanted. That's the only news that I have. That nobody and there's no one that wants Onana for the price tag that United want. And if he does, it has to be for like a very cheap and affordable fee. I'm talking like 15, 20 max, 20 million max. There's the general consensus from what I heard is that there's better keepers available for a better like value. And also, guys, I don't know if you realize they don't really play goalkeepers that much in Saudi. Let's see. They don't really pay the goalkeepers a lot of money. The highest paid goalkeeper. So what if I'm using an ad blocker, man? Why do you care? I hate when I can't go on a website because they're saying I'm using an ad blocker. Yeah, because I'm sick and tired of your ads. Whew. Yeah, so let me just show you guys this quickly. Goalkeepers, they don't spend big on goalkeepers. The highest earning goalkeeper is none of these guys. Let's keep going. Here you go, Eduardo Mendy. Eduardo Mendy is the highest paid goalkeeper in the Saudi league, and even that is not a lot of money. Obviously, let me tell you guys, 178k a week is a lot of money to me, and if anyone wants to give me that, it will change my life. But to a footballer who's playing in Saudi, by the way, it's not much. So they're not willing to give Onana a lot of money. Onana earns how much does Onana earn per week at Manchester United? He earns 120. So he's not even earning much of a difference, like 50k difference to what Eduardo Mendy is earning. Let me super chat you real quick. If anyone's super chat 180k, 70k super chat, I'd faint. But yeah, Onana's not gonna like. The only thing that will benefit him going to Saudi is if he's getting paid a lot of money. That's it. And they don't pay a lot to goalkeepers. So I hope you guys keep this news in mind when we start to hear like more news about Saudi links. And let's just quickly touch on this. Joshua Zirkzee is reported at Manchester United. There is a feeling among the club that Joshua Zirkzee could fulfill that role in a front three with Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. Now, I feel like this is being put out as a feeler piece to essentially gauge the audience and the crowd's reaction in case United don't sign a striker. Because I feel like United could go down a path of either signing a striker and not signing a midfielder, or signing a midfielder and not signing a striker. And I'm also worried. I like the idea, by the way, of Joshua Zirkzee staying. I like the idea of that. But I also do not like the fact that there's not really... Oh, damn, Paul Pogba is actually going to Monaco. But yeah, I also don't like the idea that Manchester United is not really linked to any midfielders. Duncan, where are you seeing that? Because at the moment, we've only seen it from the Mirror. So did, guys, has Luka Modric actually joined Monaco, or are they still trying to bid for him? Are they still trying to bid for him? But yeah, Fabrizio coming through with the Pogba bomber. You telling me I could possibly rewatch Pogba again this season? Fabrizio has just confirmed that Monaco have offered a 2-year contract to Paul Pogba with talks underway. Negotiations and discussions over project continue this weekend to try and reach an agreement. Monaco are working both on that and Ansu Fati. Oh, he's going to Milan. Oh, my bad. Are you telling me I can watch Paul Pogba? Yeah, guys, I actually might have to back out the watch-alongs. Forget that. I might actually have to go and watch a game in Monaco. Monaco has always been, guys, I'm not even joking. Monaco has always been on my travel list, like my dream list. Well, let me show you places I want to visit. Look at this. Monaco, I don't know if you guys can see, but Monaco has always been on there. It's always been on there. And now it's even more of a reason for me to go. You're telling me I can watch Lamine Camara and Paul Pogba, and maybe Sir Jim Ratcliffe can invite me on his yacht or to his mansion or something, and I can ask him why he doesn't pay tax in the UK. You lot all say Monaco's nice. I heard it's very expensive. And I think there's no direct flights, right? Istanbul is in Turkey. Istanbul's in Turkey. Welcome back to football, Paul Pogba. That's for sure. That is for sure. Welcome back to football. Let's see if there is any more news before we actually wrap it up. Super duper expensive. So what are you saying? I gotta sell my kidney to go there? Oh, Istanbul is not on my list. I've never had an interest to go to Istanbul. I've never really had that big of an interest to go to Istanbul. I wouldn't mind going, but like the only countries or cities that are on my list are places that I really, really want to visit. So some of them I've ticked off. Some of them I still have yet to tick off, but there's not many European countries on here, guys. I can't lie. Traveling in Europe has never really been of interest to me, but it's on my bucket list to go to America. But Trump be making it hard for me, guys. I ain't got a passport. Trump is trying to make it hard for me to come to America. Istanbul's cold, yeah, but in the summer it's it's decent, right? I heard it's very like hilly as well in Istanbul, so like you walk a lot. 40 euros for a bowl of pasta. I got to sell my kidney to go to Monaco, and then I got to basically just starve while I'm there. Going for United preseason, I ain't got a passport, guys. I don't have a passport, so I can't go to America for the United preseason tour. I'm kidding. I do have a passport, guys. I do have a passport, but I'm not going to America for the preseason tour. And by the way, Fabrizio is reporting that Nico Williams has met with Barcelona. That is crazy. That is crazy. If Barcelona managed to pull off that hijack from Bayern Munich, because he was pretty much linked fully to joining Bayern Munich, if they managed to pull that off, that would be crazy. Just quickly, guys, before we actually wrap it up, I want to speak about the Club World Cup quickly. Yeah, just because I don't know if you guys have seen. If you're in America, please let me know if you're going to the Club World Cup. If you are going to any game in the Club World Cup, because it's being reported that the tickets were so expensive that they've now started to reduce the tickets from 300 euros to less than 40 euros. They're offering deals to like students in the cities. They're offering deals, buy one, get one free. And they're saying that they've reduced the opening fixture, which is between Inter Miami and Al Ahly. They've reduced it by more than 250. Do you know how crazy that is? I don't think people are realizing this is gonna be a flop. I actually think the crowds are gonna be dead. Like, honestly speaking, I think the crowds are gonna be dead. I know people that are working at the Club World Cup for broadcasters, and they were telling me, like, because of all the different cities that it's being held in, they have to go to basically one base or just like follow one team. They can't go and like if there was a competition like this in the UK, for example, because the UK is quite small, I could watch a 12 p.m. kickoff in London and be in Birmingham for an 8 p.m. kickoff. Like, I could do that if I was covering it. But in America, that's not possible. So you have to stay with the team that you're traveling, that you're following in terms of covering. Have you seen the ticket price for the World Cup? Let's see what the ticket prices are for the World Cup. Ticket prices for the World Cup. I would love to go to the World. What? Why are tickets starting at $3,000, guys, for the World Cup? What? And they climb all the way up to $73,000. If I'm paying $3,000 to watch a opening stage of a football of a World Cup, they better let me take the trophy home. They better let me, like, you better have a trophy for everyone in the crowd to take home, made of real gold. Because $3,000 for one ticket. For one ticket. That is crazy. That is absolutely mental. I don't, no disrespect, guys. I'm very sorry if you're from America, but I always had the impression that holding the World Cup there was going to be a bad idea. But that's crazy. America is really the land of capitalism because, yeah, they're taking a piss. But even with Club World Cup, I feel like Inter Miami are only in it because of Messi. But even then, people are not buying tickets to come watch Inter Miami. Inter Miami is a bang average team in the MLS. I feel like people might go and watch like Real Madrid versus Al Hilal. That would be a good game. And there's a lot of Saudis, for example, in America. There's a lot of Spanish people. So I think they will go and watch the clubs from their nations, even if they don't support it. And also people will go and watch the big clubs, PSG, Man City. Ugh, I can't believe I just said the big clubs and I said Man City. But Man City have a big American fan base. But also people who are just football fans. Like, if I was a football fan and I lived in America, I would go watch Atletico versus PSG. But I wouldn't go and watch Al Ain versus Juventus. No disrespect to Juventus. But I wouldn't go and watch that. So I don't know. The only thing I like about the Club World Cup personally is that the prize money across the competition, especially for like the smaller clubs from continents that are not as big as Europe, they get some financial incentive of being in the competition. And also it puts them on the world stage, because the only other time that you ever watch players that are outside of maybe big Europe football is at the World Cup. And some of these players that play for maybe the South African team, the Sundowns and Al Ahly and the Tunisian team, etc. Maybe some of the players that play for that have never represented their national team. So they get the opportunity to play on a global stage for football where people will learn about them, which I think is beneficial for them and is also beneficial for people to know football outside of Europe. You know, South American football, I think since the days of Neymar and that, people don't really pay attention to it anymore. So it's nice to watch those kind of clubs. Personally, I've watched PSG enough this season. I've watched Real Madrid enough this season. So maybe I will watch Al Ain versus Juventus. But yeah, no, I can't believe tickets for the World Cup is $3,000. Minna, how you feel about our Pacers? No, I ain't no Pacers, man. I think Pacers are gonna win. I said this from when it was OKC versus Timberwolves. I said that OKC had a bigger matchup. I think they would have been a better matchup to the Pacers than the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves would have got swept. I just feel like Halliburton, I don't know what it is with Tyrese Halliburton, yeah? Nothing can convince me this guy's a superstar. Generally speaking, like, I don't know what he has to do. Like, even if he wins a ring, I'm still going to be like, it's just a ring. It's also why I like players like Carmelo, etc. Even though they never won a ring, you know, they were actual ballers. I don't know. Maybe because Halliburton just, I don't know. But yeah, I think the Pacers are going to win. I think the Pacers are going to win. Are you watching the Women's Euros? Yes, I am. And I'm doing a watch along for it. Let's actually look at the fixture list. I will be doing a watch along across the competition of the Euros. Here's the fixture list. I just realized I'm on the wrong thing. Here's the fixture list for the Euros. So I think my first watch along will probably be on France versus England on Saturday. Yes, we're going to redirect to Alice after this. Don't worry, guys. We're going to redirect to Alice. So for the Women's Euros, just so you lot know, first England game is on Saturday, the 5th of July, which is in about 2 weeks. So that will be my first watch along. And then I will be doing another watch along. I won't be doing a watch along for England versus Netherlands because I'm actually hosting an event for that. So I won't be doing one for that, but then I will be doing one later for the last fixture, which will be England versus Wales. There's quite a few United players that play for France, so that'll be interesting. You lot know Melvin Mallard plays for them, so that'll be interesting. So we'll do that, and I don't know if you lot want watch-alongs for the Club World Cup. Let me know. Let me know if you lot want watch-alongs for the Club World Cup. because I can do that too. The only reason why I don't do a lot of watch-alongs, guys, is because it's just like so. Everyone's doing a watch-along, so sometimes I'm like, is there any point doing it? Because there's so many people you guys can choose to go and watch, and I know you lot will have fun doing a watch-along with me, but it's just oversaturated. Watch-alongs are oversaturated sometimes. But for the Club World Cup, definitely for Real Madrid versus Al Hilal, I'll do it because I follow Al Hilal a lot, so we could talk about Saudi football for that. PSG versus Atletico, I don't know about that because I got football at that time. And then we'll see like all the other games. Some of the games, the 2 a.m., you're not seeing me, guys. 2 a.m., nah, never happening. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. We'll be live tomorrow, inshallah, God willing. I'll try and be live at 9 in the morning. Yeah, I'll try be live 9 in the morning. That by then I'll be home from my run, and I'll eat my breakfast and everything, and then I'll be comfortable, and then we'll go live. But no promises. No promises, guys. Even though I just said I promise, no promises. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. We're going to redirect it to Alice. So go show her some love, guys. And I'll catch you lot all tomorrow. Hopefully we get Here We Go, man. Have a good one. Big up to all of you lot. I'm out. Peace.